Welcome back to another Greenville update video, a lot sooner than I thought it would happen again. We've received an update that many people were suggesting, and lo and behold, it's here. A Halloween update. Let's start off with the features. One of the most noticeable additions in this update is the new graveyard, which is located at the end of the newly added neighborhood, right past the train tracks. And here we are. It's fenced in, got some jack-o'-lanterns up front, and an open gate. Once you enter, you can see a few more jack-o'-lanterns, and of course some gravestones, because, I mean, it's a graveyard after all. From walking around, what I can tell, not a single gravestone has anything on it, except for one located on the third gravestone row to the right. Come down this row, and the fourth to last gravestone says this: RIP Caleb McBlock's Roblox account. Now I'll give you a bit of insight on this. Back in 2018, there was a whole situation where someone got banned from the game and it escalated to Roblox getting involved in the matter. There was a scare across the whole GV community that the game would be deleted, which started the hashtag Fight for Greenville movement, which you may be able to find some old videos on. Thankfully, the game was never deleted and the situation was eventually over, except in the midst of it, Hunter's account was banned for a few days and Caleb McBlock's with a C, an admin of Greenville's account, was terminated. Even after the situation was cleared, his account stayed deleted and still is to this day. He's also still an admin of the game and the Discord as well. And there you go, that's just a bit to get you up to speed on this gravestone. RIP Caleb McBlock's with a C. Next feature in this update, which some of you may have already noticed from the graveyard tour, is that some areas now have fallen leaves on the ground under the trees for an even more fall-y vibe, I guess. If you drive over the leaves or drive on grass now, leaf particles will trail behind your vehicle. Pretty nice touch. Next up, Halloween-themed items have been placed around the map. The dealership is one example with some jack-o'-lanterns and some spiders out front. Another example is claimed houses having Halloween-themed decorations. There are a bit different decorations for each house design, but the large house design includes different colored fencing, a few spotlights, gravestones, and jack-o'-lanterns. Inside each claimed house, there is now an equipable candy basket placed somewhere. You can give other people candy with this basket, or you can take some for yourself too. To my knowledge, there's only one candy type, this Roblox dark chocolate candy bar. If you click to eat it, it'll make one of two different interesting sounds. Or perfect addition for trick-or-treating roleplays. Next up, police radars have been reworked. Previously, if you were on the police team, there's a button above the lock button to toggle radars. Radars just functioned as a vehicle's speed above its roof, and it was always shown so long as the radar toggle was on. It had its issues though, and it wasn't too realistic, so now radars are more true to real life. If you're in a police car, the radar toggle UI is still there above the lock button, however now pressing it toggles an actual radar UI. With the UI open, you can hover over a vehicle with your mouse and let you know the clock speed on the top section of the UI. The second number listed on the UI is where you can set a max speed. Basically, if you hover over a vehicle going over the set max speed, it'll beep at you and the clock speed number turns red. So if you'd like to be notified about someone going over 70 miles per hour, type 70 in the second number slot. Perhaps you'd like to be notified about someone going over 2 miles per hour, you can do that too. Same for 800 miles per hour. Anyways, yeah, nice change to the radar system. Hopefully it'll save me from some tickets in roleplay servers. The final thing to cover regarding features is that when night falls, things become a bit extra spooky. A notification pops up on the side of your screen letting you know a mist descends upon the land. Just looking around, you may be able to notice that it's actually quite foggy now. Probably the most noticeable change from nightfall though is that a ton of fog appears on the ground of the graveyard. Looks pretty cool, especially for some screenshots. There's been a few other smaller things as well, but I'll just get straight into what I could only assume would be Doug DeMuro's favorite part of the update, the cars. This update includes 9 cars, but not just any cars, very weird and quirky cars. Some may even consider them a bit spooky. Quite fitting. First of the 9 new cars is this, the General Motors EV1, an electric car from the 90s made by GM, which happens to be a limited car in-game, going off sale in just 2 days. I believe this is the cheapest limited car added in the revamp thus far, costing only $50,000. If you want it, grab it while you can. Now for a little backstory on this car. This car was partially made due to California being California. The cars were only able to be obtained by lease agreements. The response to the car was good, but GM didn't think electric cars were very profitable at the time, leading them to take back all the lease cars and crush most of them. A few remain in museums, but for the most part they're all gone. Over 2 years ago, the EV1 was made for the game, but only just now was given a major refresh and was added. Very odd design language, and here's how it sounds, I guess? And here's how it sounds in reverse. The next new car added in this update is an epic one, a remodel of the DeLorean DMC-12. Along with this remodel, it has a redone tune, lights, sound, a new fictional name, and more trims. One of the new trims is the dual turbo trim based off the real Legend turbo cars. In real life, DeLoreans have always been pretty slow normally, so they needed to increase the power a bit. They outsourced a company called Legend Industries to increase the power of their cars, and 4 DeLoreans were converted to turbo. 2 being single turbo, the other 2 being twin turbo, which this in-game trim is. DeLorean planned to offer a turbocharged option for the DMC-12s, but before any of those cars could be produced, the company went bankrupt. The second new trim is an electric conversion. Yes, someone actually did this in real life. Here's how both the old and new standard trims look up close. The old one never looked like a bad model to me, but this new one is just super detailed. Here's how the new one sounds. And here's how the old one sounded. Here's how the old one's lights looked. And here's how the new one's lights look. The other one's rolling away. Anyway. Here's how the dual turbo trim looks. And here's how it sounds and performs. Next up is the 2002 Chrysler, previously Plymouth Prowler. A very interesting, retro, hot rod design for a car, but it's honestly sorta cool. There are 2 trims, the soft top and the hard top trim, which are both convertibles that have interiors. Here's how it looks up close. Very cool, very nice. Here's the interior. Here's how it sounds. Next up is the 2004 Toyota Will CYPHA. I don't really know much about this car, but I don't think it was ever sold in the US, and I know for a fact that it looks very weird. Here's how the only trim looks spawned out. It's right-hand drive, and here's how it sounds. And yeah, I doubt anybody buys this for speed, so the next car is the 2012 Carbon Motors E7. The police versions themselves are actually not fictional, though they do seem to confuse some people. In real life, it was developed to be a purpose-built cop car and was only available for law enforcement agencies to purchase, though the company ended up shutting down and the car never went into production. There are 3 different variants in the dealer: the WSP, the Sheriff, and an actually fictional civilian variant. Here's how the WSP variant looks spawned out, and here's how it sounds. Here are the lights. Here are the sirens. And here's the performance. The next new car is Heenergy's all-time nightmare, an ultra base model trim of the 2013 Camaro. This includes plastic bumpers and, of course, the wonderful base model wheels. Here are the specs. And drumroll please for the last but definitely not least new car in this update, the most weird of all, smallest car ever made, none other than the Peel P50. The one in game is a replica model, so that's why it's a 2015. There are 2 trims. the coupe, and of course, the spider. Yes, you can actually order a PLP50 replica convertible in real life. And now it's in Greenville as well for a hefty price of $150,000 in game. Here's how the spider trim looks up close. Yes, it's very, very tiny. Here's the wonderful interior with a red seat. Pretty darn freaking nice. And here's how it sounds. Now for a 0 to top speed and braking test, assuming I can keep this thing going straight down the road. Alright, let's go. That's 10. Come on. That is 20. This is the new slowest car in the game, which is wonderful, and it's not even limited, I don't think. I never said anywhere that's limited. It's also very, very difficult to control because it's the three-wheeler. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get the top speed if I can actually stay straight on the road. Don't mind my minions back behind me. They kind of just hang out of the peel. Look, I'm doing a peel on the peel. Haha, get it? It's a good one, good one. Anyway, now I'm in the ditch. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a braking test with this. Let me just get on the road if I can. Come on, let's go. Come on, peel. Let's reverse. Alright, full send up this. Alright, we got this thing going. I'm in manual here, I've resorted to manual. Alright, let's go. Full send. This is like the fastest I've gone. Come on, keep it straight, keep it straight, keep it straight. Here's the interior view, by the way! It's even scarier when you're losing control. Ah! Let's do a 25 braking test. Yeah, it's pretty much instant braking, so. Yeah. And with that, this update review is over. This is quite the surprise update. I actually really like it. There's some weird cars, but I mean, at this point, that's just part of Greenville's charm. The whole Halloween theme makes things just that much cooler, and the candy bucket is going to make for some fun roleplays. I think more updates like this, even without any features and simply just cars between the bigger updates, could be beneficial for the game and keep some people slightly more entertained, even though I do prefer the hype of the bigger updates. Thanks for watching. If you want, let me know your favorite part of the update down in the comments. See ya.